Hey everyone, and welcome back to That's It. So, day two of the Diddy Combs trial, and Cassidy has arrived into the courtroom and testified, swore under oath, and my gosh, it was very, very damaging, very sad to hear her testimony and what she had to say, and basically relive everything that she went through for the last 11 years with this man. And she was 19 at the time when she was dating him, and he was 38, young, beautiful, impressionable. Still developing, still learning things with her and life and everything. And then he just a 38-year-old man who experienced life. And I'm like, why would a 38-year-old man date a 19-year-old? That could be your daughter. Your daughters. Could be your daughters. It's just very sick and weird, even though it's legal because she was 19 at the time, but still 19, 19. And I just feel like maybe it was just a control thing, like he was trying to mold her, control her, teach her things that normally a typical 19-year-old don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe she felt like he could mentor her at the time because she was a singer, is still a singer, and this is Diddy Combs who did big artists for Biggie Small, Mary J. Blige. Um, the list just goes on and on. But I just want to break down to you what happened in the courtroom. So, like I said in my video, my last video, more information has came out. So yesterday, I was not aware that there was a male escort who testified yesterday, which I did mention, but I didn't get his name. And his name is Daniel Phillips, you guys. He is the male escort that was at that hotel in 2016, the Intercontinental Hotel in LA. And he is a frequently male escort that who has had sex with Cassidy in the past, according to his testimony and Cassidy testimony as well. That Sean Diddy Combs hired this male escort, and he frequently had sex with Cassidy while Diddy watched while he masturbated. Disgusting, freaky, weird. Again, it's not against the law to have threesomes or whatever. However, it is against the law when you pressurize and force someone to have sex against their will and drug them and they didn't want to. That is sex trafficking. Okay. Anyway, so he was finishing his testimony today, excuse me, before Cassie took the stand, and this male escort. Daniel Phillips said that he got paid thousands of dollars to have sex with Cassidy while Diddy watched, and Cassidy hand him the money and everything. And he also said that that it seemed like Cassidy was not, she didn't want to engage sexual performance of this guy. He did not use a condom. They had unprotected sex, and they did some other weird, disturbing things, which I do not want to, say on this YouTube channel. I really don't, but you can definitely read it other platforms. It's just utterly disgusting. It is. I can tell you this. It just reminds me of R. Kelly. You get my drift, okay? Stuff that happened with Cassie with this male male escort that Diddy wanted him to do with Cassidy. And I'm going to tell you again, it's like R. Kelly. So you get my drift. And I don't want to go even further with this. And when the male escort was giving graphic details of the sexual relation, his daughters was there listening to the point that it got really uncomfortable because it got really graphic in the courtroom yesterday that his daughters had to leave. And I'm like, why on earth would you have your daughters be in a courtroom while they're going to be talking about your sex life and the fetishes and all this weird kinky stuff that you've been doing for the last decade? Your children are going to hear this, especially your daughters. Okay, they're going to be hearing this. Why would you want? Excuse me, my phone. Sorry. Come on. Why would you want your daughters to listen into that? You know what I mean? To have that visual in their heads. Like, if it was me, I was like, no. I would have told my daughters, no, you are not allowed in the courtroom because you're going to be hearing graphic, disgusting stuff about me, and I just don't want you to hear it. No, they listened to partial of Daniel Phillips' testimony, and then it got too much for the girls that they walked out of the courtroom. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. Now, what was really interesting is that the defense team of Diddy Combs, they didn't want Cassidy's husband to be in a courtroom. And I'm thinking, why? She's married, that's her husband. He has every right to be in that courtroom to support his wife, who is like 8 months pregnant. And then the defense team didn't want him in the room and in the courtroom. And the judge says, no, I'm going to rule that out, and he has every right to be in the courtroom. And I'm like, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, how dare they? How dare they, the defense team? Like, what are you was trying to do? Like, you was trying to like intimidate Cassidy so she think that she was just all alone and she didn't have any support team by her side while she had to go up to the stand and relive this nightmare that she'd been through for the last 11 years. Like, get serious, defense team of Diddy. Get serious. So I'm glad the judge ruled that out and said, no, he have every right to be in the courtroom to support his wife and to be there for his wife, because his wife is going to go through all this, testimony and questions going to be asked of her, even though it was in a deposition, even though, it's on the civil lawsuit. However, just for her to go up to the stand and to talk about it among everyone, because Diddy Combs' family is there and other people are there, the press and everything. This is the first time she's actually being vocal and speaking about it for the first time. So yeah, she needs someone to be on her corner and to be there that she knows. So I'm glad the judge said, I'm allowing it. I'm allowing her husband to be in the courtroom, and rightfully so. That's it. That's it. Anyway, Cassidy may testify for 3 or 4 days because, the prosecutors, they need to get as much information from her as possible, like detail to detail, because, she lived through it. Even though she is 8 months pregnant, you guys, almost 9 months, she's about to pop. So that's why they wanted her to testify today and a couple more days later as well, so she can just do what she needs to do and then leave with her husband and have a healthy delivery and healthy birth. Because this is just going to be too much for a woman, especially for her to relive all this stuff. It's just crazy. But I do commend her. I really do, because it takes real bravery to go up to the stand and sit there and swear on their oath and then look at the person that you thought that you loved, thought that you might spend the rest of your life with, who actually did all these horrible things to you, heroic things to you, and you have to like relive it and tell the world what happened, even though it's on the civil lawsuit. For her to be vocalized and say, I really commend her. I really do. And then the prosecutors will be the first person to ask her questions, and I believe the defense team will take over tomorrow and ask her questions because, obviously she's pregnant. She's going to get some breaks in between, because it's going to be a lot for her. And it's going to be a lot. And what else? So they were asking her questions like, why did you participated in, this freak off, this sex act? And, Cassidy was like saying, I'm a people pleaser. I wanted to please him. I wanted to make him happy. I wanted to do things that, typically I wouldn't do. And I'm just paraphrasing here. And I can see that, especially at that time. I don't know how old she was at the time. That incident that happened in 2016, maybe in her 20s, 21. Listen, when you're young and in love, and your partner is much older than you and have more experience than you, stuff that you typically wouldn't do, and your partner engage and wants you to do X, Y, and Z in the bedroom, or have other parties in the bedroom and in a relationship, you think in your mind it's weird, I don't feel uncomfortable, but then you want to please your significant other, and you don't want your significant other to make you feel a certain type of way. And that's what I believe what happened to Cassidy, and that's what she said. She was a people pleaser. She wanted to please Diddy and make him happy, and that's why she participated in some of these encounters with the male prostitutes. Now, Maybe at times she, like I said, she said that she engaged, and at times she didn't want to do it anymore. Maybe she got tired of it, and then this man forced her to continue doing it by drugging her, by threatening her, by beating her up, giving her black eyes, giving her knots on her forehead, a busted lip, a busted nose, everything. And she was just fearful for her life that he could done even worse to her. So a lot of people were saying, why did she stay? She could have left. She could have left. She could have called the cops. It's easy said and done when you're dating a man like that. Like I said, it's easy said and done when you deal with a man like that who's very intimidating, who uses power and his influence to threaten you, especially if he filmed you having sex with other male prostitutes and he can just use that against you for leverage. So yeah, what would you do in that situation? Would you just like, forget it, I don't care, put it out there in the public, and I just deal with the consequences later? Or would you just stick around, especially if he was threatening you or your family or your business? Because she signed what is it, 10-year contract with Bad Boys, and she only did one music, not 10 years, but did she signed a 10 a deal to do 10 songs, and she only did one. And he used that. He used that leverage against her to control how she dressed, how she looked, her music, everything. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was very to manipulate her and to use her whenever he felt like it. And he knew this too. He knew exactly what he was doing because she was young and impressionable. He knew that she was in love with him, that she would do anything for him. He knew this. He is not a dummy. He knew this. He knew how to work her because he has done it many times before with other women. Kim Porter, I don't know how he was with Jennifer Lopez, but I definitely know with Kim Porter and Cassidy and among other people too. And it's very strange because they broke up in 2018. They have not seen each other until today. Like 6 years, right? Yes, 6 years. Can you imagine having seen your ex and then you take the stand and then you see this person for the first time that you haven't seen in 6 years? Very, very strange, intimidating, and I can't even imagine how she was feeling not seeing this guy, and then now she's seeing the man that hurt her, who abused her, who took advantage of her, and everything. It's just crazy, you guys. And so Diddy was just staring at Cassie, staring at her hard, like trying to intimidate her, trying to scare her. And good for her. Once she said what she had to say and testified, and then the judge removed her down for her to walk out the courtroom. She kept walking straight, guys. She kept walking straight. She didn't even give Diddy the look, anything. She didn't even give Diddy children the look, the mother, nothing. She just keep on walking. That's it. Like, I don't know you. You're a piece of shit. Okay? You don't deserve my eye contact, excuse me. You don't deserve anything. I'm going to keep on walking with my head up high, and I don't care. You're non-existent to me. So good for her for not taking the bait and not looking at him, even though he was looking at her real hard, accordingly to my reporter that's reporting the news about Sean Diddy Combs. And she just kept keep walking straight out of the courtroom, and didn't even look at him, not even glance, nothing. So good for you, Cassidy. That's it. Don't let that man intimidate you, because he is nothing. Okay, he is pure trash. Pure trash. Now, what else I wanted to cover? What else I wanted to say? Same cover, whatever. So, like I said, now the defense team is going to say, oh, out of jealousy, oh, because, the couples, were fighting over, the couples, him and her, like, having sex with other people, when the prosecutors are going to show videos that she was being pressured. She was being pressured by Diddy to perform at a certain position, having her wear a red wig at the time, to do certain things, and he was basically directing her how to perform the sexual acts with with the male escort, pardon me, and while he's filming this all stuff. So that's what the prosecutor is trying to show the jurors, that this was a sex trafficking thing, that she did not want to do this, but she did it against her will. And also was very damaging what Daniel Phillips said too during the stand, that he saw Diddy beating on Cassidy, cussing her out, beat her in the bathroom, punch her and whatever. And the prosecutor said, "Why you didn't intervene and say anything?" He said that he was frightened and scared that something might happen to him, and that's why he didn't step in. But he heard things that was happening to Cassidy. He even seen it too, and he didn't say anything. He was mind bottled. He was dumbfounded, seeing that this man will actually just beat on this woman, and he didn't know what to do. He was fearful for his life too, and that's why he didn't say anything. And then he also mentioned to the defense team that Cassie's the one that gave him money for the services and everything, and stuff like that. But it was mostly Sean Diddy Combs that's the one that set everything up for the both of them. So it could be that they're trying to paint out that Cassie is the one that ordered the escort, that she wanted this, she participated in this, and two things can be true at the same time. Yes, it's a possibility that Cassidy was into this and she was okay with it at the time, but at some point it was getting too much for her, because it was like intercourse after intercourse after intercourse, and she got tired. She got, it was like throughout the whole day and night. That's why she left that hotel room, because it was getting too much for her, and that she wanted to flee. She wanted to leave. It's basically like being a slave and having sex with someone that you don't want to have sex with anymore. That's basically what it was. You pay someone to have sex, and then she didn't want to have sex, and that's basically what it is. She was like operating like a slave. I'm sorry to say, that's what Sean Diddy Combs was doing to her, operating like a slave. And that's exactly that. That's what he was doing to her. And that's why she wanted to leave that day, March 2016. And then you know the rest, you guys. It's just very very sad, that she had to relive this. She even cried on the stand that Sean Diddy Combs made her feel less of a person, that he wanted her to be a certain way. He wanted her hair to be a certain way, the way she dressed, the type of shoes that she wore, her nails, very controlling. Like he wanted her to be a certain person, like her parents didn't look good, like she had to get breast augmentation and stuff like that. And she's a beautiful girl, inside and out. There was nothing wrong with her. Or according to Cassie, what Cassie said, I understand that she looked too Mexican. I'm like, what? What the F? Like, how dare he? She is so beautiful and so gorgeous. And for this disgusting, despicable man to make this woman feel so low about herself is just appalling. He was trying to break her down and break her spirits down, thinking that no one else will love her but him. Well, think again. That's how God works. That's how God is so good, because after she broke up with him and left this monster, she had to rebuild her life, go to rehab, therapy to fix herself, and God blessed her with a wonderful husband, Alex. And they have two beautiful daughters and a third one on the way. Thank you, Jesus. God bless Cassidy. God saved Cassidy's life, because it could have been 10 times worse if Cassidy decided to stay in that relationship. And she said, enough is enough. I deserve more. I deserve better. I am beautiful inside and out, and I'm not going to take this garbage from this man. I took it too long. 11 years. 11 years of this abuse. Physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. Everything. And she said enough, and she walked away. Good for her. And approximately $30 million, allegedly. That's what they're saying. Now, she settled with $30 million. Good for her. I would have got more, because he settled very quickly. I would have got more money after the hell he put her through. Okay? Shoot. So I'm happy for Cassidy. I'm happy that she is standing up and speaking her truth. She's a viable witness, a key witness. You know what I mean? Besides that, besides the first witness, Daniel Phillips, he testified, plus Cassidy. They're still waiting for that the third person, which they can't find her. And she's just like gone to the wind somewhere, and they're trying to find her, but they can't find her. And she's the third, what's it called? Let me just look at my notes, you guys, because I gotta make sure I am accurate, okay? I can't say the wrong things, Then people could come after me. Oh, Cheryl, you're lying. This is not true. This is not true, Cheryl. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Yeah, so they're trying to find the third victim, and she is nowhere to be found. Nowhere. I think she's hiding. I think someone got to her to shut her up for her not to say anything, for her not to testify against Sean Diddy Combs. That's what happens. That's what I believe that happens. I hope and pray that the prosecutors can find her and for her to testify and for her to speak her truth and tell the truth as well. But she's nowhere to be found, you guys. I don't know. It's just very, very crazy. It's getting really crazy. It's getting real. This trial is going to last for 8 weeks. It could be less, but it's definitely 8 weeks of this trial. And like I said, I'm glad that Cassidy is standing up for her truth and telling the whole world what has happened to her. The defense team is going to, discredit her and make her paint out to be that she's this wild party girl, like I said, that she acted in this, but she even said she was a people pleaser. She wanted to please her man at the time to make him happy. But then she saw the darker side of him, the evilness, the monster. And she said enough is enough. So that's all I have, you guys. If I have any more information about day 2 of the trial, I will definitely let you know and get back to you. Let me know your thoughts. Do you even care about Sean Diddy Combs' trial? Or do you feel like he's innocent or guilty? Do you think he deserved to spend the rest of his life in prison if he found guilty? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Because I would love to hear your thoughts on what you have to say. And even if you don't care, just comment below and let me know. Listen, Cheryl, I don't care. I don't care about the Sean Diddy Combs case and stuff like that. Let me know because I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. That's it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.